So just recap with the previous concepts what we have been discussed. So in our demo session we discussed about like automation testing, how many types, how many things that we have open source and commercial. This is just the summary what we have been discussed till now. And coming to the protractor, there are two types of applications: single page applications and multiple page applications. The applications which are developing using AngularJS technology cannot be automated through Selenium WebDriver. Why? Because we can design the script, but there may be a lot of synchronization issues between the application and Selenium WebDriver. So that is the reason Selenium WebDriver is not supporting AngularJS technology applications. AngularJS is nothing but front-end development technology. Selenium WebDriver, we are going to use the uh, command statement like this, and in Protractor just we are going to give the statement like this. So that is the difference between Selenium WebDriver syntax and Protractor syntax. But next, so Protractor can be used to automate AngularJS applications. Very important thing is we need to have Node.js and npm installer in our system. Single page applications can be used because of having dynamic interactions between the different applications. Automatic page refreshes will be reduced in single page applications. The cons in SPS are like performance issue due to complete web page code will be initialized. AngularJS front-end framework. There are multiple front-end frameworks that we have in the market. These are all the list: Angular, Ember, React, Aurelia, Cycle, Backbone, Vue. So all these are front-end frameworks. Coming to multiple page applications, simple difference. We are going to see the alert messages in the separate pop-up windows. How to identify that we have discussed. Single page application architecture also we have discussed with the diagram. Next thing is JavaScript, introduction to JavaScript. It's an open and cross-platform programming language or scripting language, we can say, simple thing, extended to Java and complementary integration with Java HTML. Mainly this JavaScript has been designed for network-centric applications. JavaScript is lightweight interpreted programming language. An advantage of JavaScript or rich interface. It supports rich interfaces, less server interaction, quick response to the users. I hope you understood the concept of this rich interfaces. Does anyone want me to explain about what is this interface? What is this rich interface? Rich interface. Okay. So limitations of JavaScript. JavaScript will not have the concept of multi-threading. JavaScript will be used for network or telecom-based applications. Coming to Node.js, it's an open source server-side framework, supports all platforms: Windows, Unix, Linux, Ubuntu, something like that. What is the use of Node.js is it is used for CRUD operations in DB side, add, edit, and delete. Can be used to read, write, create, open, edit, delete data. Node.js is having the extension of .js. Node.js can be initiated before the effects are applied in server side. What is npm installer? It is a node package manager. So along with node.js, we are going to install npm also, npm installation also. It is an online centralized system which maintains all libraries in a single package, which is nothing but Node.js. It manages version management. It is having version management and dependency management of Node.js package. npm will be created automatically from Node.js package. To know the current version of npm in our system, we need to enter like this in command prompt. To update the npm version from old to new, type and click on enter in command prompt. This we need to enter. And coming to Protractor, it is a Node.js program that supports multiple frameworks like Jasmine, Mocha, and Cucumber frameworks. It is open source functional automation tool used for the application's end-to-end testing purpose. Protractor uses Selenium WebDriver to drive the browsers and simulates user interaction with single-page applications and AngularJS applications which are running in the browser. Simple thing. What this point explains about is, already we have Selenium WebDriver in the market which directly deals with the browser, which directly communicates with the browser. Nothing will be there in between Selenium standalone server or Selenium WebDriver and the browser. So in this browser, we are going to access the application in the browser. So this Selenium WebDriver directly interacts with the browser and collects the object and collects the elements what we are passing, and it will send the data to that particular element and it will execute the script. But for Protractor, nothing is there in between the application and the Protractor. So that is the reason Protractor uses Selenium WebDriver in order to communicate to the browser. So that is what we have mentioned here. Even though it supports Angular or normal or any type of applications, basically this Protractor needs some support from the browser to interact. So this particular support of interaction will be given by Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver will support to that particular point. Next thing. These are the differences between WebDriver and Protractor. So this is the sample script. Now let us move to the complete Protractor script design part. So before going to script design part of Protractor, we need to know two things basically. So how to create the tests, what are the important things that we need to design. So how we need to design the script. So there are three things here. Okay, there are two things here. One is spec.js, second thing is config.js. Two things, whatever the files that we are creating, that should be in a JS format, JavaScript file format. So that is the reason. Let us discuss about those two files first, and then we'll move how to design the program. Okay, so we'll have a Jasmine configuration too, and then we'll design the script in the interface. Currently, I'm going to write the scripts in a notepad, and I'll save that program in a .js extension. So as I said, like under this Protractor design, we have two files. One is spec.js, second thing is conf.js. Like this, two files. So in order to execute the script, we need to have two files. Spec.js is mandatory, conf.js is mandatory. So if you are going to design the script, so spec.js and conf.js. So spec.js and conf.js both are mandatory in order to execute, or in order to execute the script in Protractor. Before that, we need to design these two things. So let us start with spec.js first. So we can put this name as testspec.js or abcspec.js or something like that. But as of now, I'm going to use the term testspec.js. Okay, so this spec.js file is nothing but test file. Conf.js is nothing but configuration configuration file. In spec.js, first thing, the important thing is the keyword describe. The keyword describe, it will explain the user what you are trying to perform, what you want to do, where you want to do, what is the thing, the exact thing that you want to perform. So everything will be explained by the keyword describe. So describe is something like it is some set of code. We can say the definition of method or function is nothing but some set of statements which are used to perform some specific task is known as method or function, we can say. But coming to describe is also the same thing, some set or some block of code which is used to implement the protractor suite. Okay, so describe, it is a keyword and it is set of code which is used to implement test suite. And next keyword is it is also a keyword is also a keyword with the combination of commands or okay commands and syntax expectation is from Jasmine framework. So these two keywords we are going to use. These two keywords we are going to use in our script designing part. Let us start with some simple basic script, and we will discuss about each and every statement what we have been written in this testspec.js file. So I'm going to write the script here. Describe I'll take So a moment guys, I'm writing the script. I'll explain you how to design the script, how to execute the script. Yeah, so describe, it's a Google homepage what I'm trying to do here, and it is a function I'm stating, and in this it is having the keyword IT. The keyword IT, it is some block of code or some set of code which is having some different types of commands. So that different types of commands are these things: browser, expect, or something like that. So that is the reason it is a keyword where it is having some set of code or some set of statements which are nothing but the keyword it. And describe is nothing but it is a keyword and it is some set of code which is used to implement test suites completely. So here this particular program is having the keyword describe, which explains what we are doing. Google homepage, it is a function, and coming to it keyword, page should have a title that we are validating whether that page is having title or not. And coming to browser.get, generally in Selenium WebDriver we are going to write the program driver.get URL. Here we are using the word keyword browser. Here we are using the keyword browser. Let us discuss about these keywords so that you'll understand what is the purpose of the keyword that we have been used. Browser, it is a global keyword. It is a global keyword created by the protractor only. It is a global keyword created by the protractor, means specifically for the protractor design, protractor script design purpose only, the direct keyword, which is nothing but browser, has been created. If we are using browser, by default it will open the browser, whatever the expected browser that we have, and it will execute the script what we need to have. So that is the reason it is a global keyword created by the protractor, and which is used for the execution of browser level commands, which is used for the execution of browser level commands. Browser level commands in the sense, whatever the statements that we are passing to the browser and it is going to execute. Let's say for example a browser is there which is having login page, username and password fields are there. So we are trying to communicate with the browser directly, sorry, Protractor or Selenium WebDriver directly, communicating with the browser directly communicating with the browser directly communicating with the browser. So that is the reason in the way of execution, in the process of communicating with the browser directly, whatever the statements, let's say for example to the username field, I want to pass some data username to the password field I want to pass some data. Like that, if you are passing some data, we are going to write some statements in Selenium WebDriver. Driver dot find element by ID, username, send key, so and so. Driver dot find element by ID, password, send key, so and so. Like that. So we are using such type of statements in order to communicate or in order to execute those statements in the browser level. But coming to Protractor, the direct keyword, which is nothing but browser, is used in order to execute the statements in the browser level situation. So that is the reason browser explains it is a global keyword which is created by the Protractor. And so here we are saying that which is used for the execution of the browser level commands. What type of browser level commands that we are executing here? Let's see. Browser dot get means which is used to get the URL. Used to get the URL specified. So that is what simple example we can say, browser.get URL. So that is the reason when you are using some command, make sure that it should be a proper command related to this Protractor or Selenium WebDriver, whatever it might be. Okay, so next thing, this program is nothing but Google homepage where we are going to find out the title of the page, browser.get title, which should contain the name Google. And one more thing what we have discussed in the last session is the keyword or the parameter what we are passing directly to the script, that should be in a single quotations. That should be in a single quotations. Here I did a small mistake, so we need to provide single quotations here. Okay, so let us save the file. I'm going to save this file on my desktop with the name test spec.js. So in the .js format I have been saved. I'm going to close this one. So this is the file that has been saved, and next thing I am going to design one more file which is nothing but conf.js. What is mean by conf.js? Conf.js is nothing but configuration file. Conf.js is nothing but configuration file. What is this configuration file? Why we need to use this configuration file? Okay, so let me explain. Yeah, so we have designed so many spec files, we have designed so many test specification files, or so many things like that. So in the specification files we are going to maintain everything what we need to design. But coming to configuration file, why we need to maintain configuration file in different scenarios, and what is the importance of configuration file, why we need to use configuration and everything? Let's see. So configuration file is nothing but a file which is used which is used to command or to pass the statement to the protractor, stating that we have so many test spec files that we need to execute, and what are all the tests that we need to run. So these things will be explained by config.js file, which is which is used to communicate to the protractor, and protractor will get to know what are all the scripts that has been ready and what are all the tests that protractor has to run. Simple logic here. Protractor is there, config.js file is there, and test specs files are there. You have designed so many programs. Okay, once you design the programs, this all program configuration will be maintained in config.js file. This config.js file will explain to the protractor, stating that so and so tests are ready, so and so scripts are ready, so and so spec files are ready. We need to execute whatever the scripts that has been in a good shape or good architecture or in a good format, those files that we need to execute. So that is the thing, that the communication happened between configuration file and the protractor. So there we are going to maintain the configuration, how we need to write the configuration file, and based on the script only it will get to know what type of framework that we have been used in our programmatic file. Okay, so let us write. I'm going to write the script here, config.js file. Here also few keywords are there, we will discuss about these things. Exports dot config is equals to Selenium address. We need to specify the address here. What address that we need to specify? The address of the Selenium server where it is running, that we need to mention here. You are going to keep comma. Next thing is we need to configure spec files. So if there are multiple spec files, we need to provide multiple spec files name. Here I am providing test spec.js. If you are having multiple spec files, then you need to provide comma and then you need to mention multiple spec files here itself. Generally for everything, that this address would be like this. Localhost So for every system, the address would be like this: HTTP localhost 4444 WD WebDriver hub. So this is nothing but the Selenium server running, the address where the Selenium server is running. So here we are going to use this particular address. And if you want to mention, if you want to make sure that you need to mention the browser specification or something like that, we need to provide the browser also. Let us see in that format, so that we'll get to know what are all the things that we need to have. So here only I am giving the browser itself. Capabilities is the keyword that we are going to use. It is a case sensitive. Browser name is Chrome. So if everything is completed, we can close the script. So here, this is just a configuration file where you are configuring what are all the things required for that. What are all the things required for that? First, we need to initiate Selenium WebDriver. So to initiate the Selenium WebDriver, we need to provide the Selenium address. And next thing is capabilities. If we want to provide the browser specification, we need to specify the browser like this: browser name Chrome, and this is case sensitive. As I said, here we can provide the comments for this. We can say WebDriver instance capabilities. So it may be browser, it may be any other parameter. If you want to pass, it may be anything. So you can pass the parameters like this. Here I am using capabilities keyword, which is used. I am passing some parameter in the browser level. I am controlling the browser in a browser level. So that is the reason I have mentioned capabilities like browser name Chrome. Once the capabilities has been done, if you want to mention more capabilities here, you can list down everything. After that, make sure that you are going to specify the specification file. Spec file configuration, just I am mentioning it as a comment. So if there are multiple spec files, you are going to mention multiple things, multiple files here. If you have only one specification file, just make sure that you are going to mention that specification file name in the single quotations with open and closed braces. Open and closed braces. So once everything has been done, close the script, and at last you need to provide the semicolon. So as I said, like, we are going to use the Jasmine framework. We need to have some commands, we need to have everything. So we will discuss about that Jasmine framework in the next session. Up to here, this is the simple script designing part where we have been designed. Let us save this file with the name testconf.js. I'm going to save it on the desktop. So I have been saved. It has been saved. Yeah, configuration has been saved and specification has been saved. So now how to execute these two things? So for our reference, I'm going to place these two things. Sometimes when we are executing the command prompt, when we are executing the script through command prompt, it will not take the path. So that is the reason I'm going to use this folder for our reference. Okay. So now how to execute this one? Open command prompt. Open command prompt. Next thing, you need to provide the path of that particular location. This is the location. So I'm going to take the path of this complete configuration file. I'm going to paste it. Oh, there is a gap between these two words, so that is the reason it is trying. Oh, has been opened. copy this thing, open command prompt, and okay. So I need to have JavaScript configuration in my system. I'll let you know about this, guys.